Hello and welcome to Flory Modders Friday catch-up show. Here we are with you on the 5th of September 2025. Really good week this week. We've been pushing a lot on with the Bronco, really getting this one together now. And again, we've got past all the little headaches with it. So we spoke about, obviously, in part one of the problems you can have which are made by myself, of where you've got basically the different version of a kit. So as we know with this one here, we've got we've got the D version, but unfortunately we've got all the upgrades for an A version. I don't want an A version, we want a D version, but then one of the things we've got some colour photo etch as well. So really that's what this one was about, going through with the motions of it and planning your build around that. It can be done, it's just making a little bit of work for yourself. But as I say, we were donated the A parts, so we might as well go with what we've got. And I think it's actually turned out very, very nicely with it. So that was all that was going on. And then this week I've basically been going right the way through and fitting it all out, which you'll see in a moment. So again, really, really nice. And again, this kit, it's one of those kits that it has a sort of legendary thing about it being poor and all the rest of it, which I really honestly think is a little bit sort of unfounded. I think it's one of those things. How many people have actually built this kit? Whereas obviously there's a lot of people out there saying, oh, it needs this, it needs that, it needs the other. And it sort of snowballs that effect that it's almost unbuildable and all the rest of it. So far, I haven't had any problems. The usual things for Kitty Hawk kits. Again, ejector pins. Yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah, they're a little bit deep. Yeah, get over it and get on with it. You know, at the end of the day, that's not a problem. It's not that somebody as a modeler can't deal with. And again, you can be in two sort of, you know, stables with this one, if you like. You can be the ones who are saying, well, if I'm paying top money for a kit, it's got to be perfect. And I somewhat get it. But honestly, for those people, you really want to stick to your Tamiyas of this world and things like that. The AAA titles, the ones you know, they've gone to town with it. This is still a 1/32 scale kit. It's quite big. You know, it comes with its own challenges because it's big. And some of those things, you know, a little bit like, you know, people who tell me about the wings are all warped and out of shape and all the rest of it. And again, it's a 3-part wing, which then confuses things and can make things a little bit more awkward. But again, you know, you're a modeler at the end of the day. You can put some strengtheners in it, which everyone's recommended doing. Some people use wood, some people use metal, some people use plastic card. Again, it's one of those things. But they are just small little jobs you can do to improve your model. And I don't care if it's something which needs a little bit of work, like a Mach 2 kit or Kitty Hawk kits and things like that, or it can be your AAA titles like the Tamiya's latest and greatest. You can do upgrades to them and add to them and do various things. You shouldn't be put into a little bit of a box where, because I've paid 100 quid for a kit, it should be perfect and I shouldn't need to upgrade it. Because again, there are upgrades which you can buy off the shelf, aftermarket stuff, as you know, and sometimes those just need a little bit of fettling to get them in, i.e. you might have to remove some of the kit parts to make them fit better and various things. Sometimes you've got to do major surgery to it. But then technically, you know, you get people and they're like, well, it's this kit and I paid this amount for it and I don't think I should be doing it. Personally, I think that's part of modelling, though. If you're going to start to play with it, if you're going to go straight out of the box, no problem at all. But if you're going to start to play with it, and we're adding things to this one, bit of scratch building work to it, we're doing this thing in flight as well, so we're going to have to do some things to it as well. Honestly, I think it's one of those things which it just adds to the joy and the pleasure of it. If you're an out-of-the-box builder, knock yourself out. But if you want to just, you know, do those little extra bits, sometimes you're going to cause a little bit more work for yourself. But most of us quite enjoy the challenge. I'm enjoying the challenge of this kit and all the way through, but I think challenge is a little bit strong. You know, if you're doing it out of the box, you'll be absolutely fine with it. I think it's actually great. Just taking your time, plenty of test fitting, plenty of dry fitting before you commit to glue. And then that way you can find those little problems and you can deal with them as you make your way through. But generally, I have to say, so far, so good. I'm just looking at the wing section now and all the rest of it. Cockpit section is finished. We'll look at that in a moment. But again, it's one of those ones. I'm just planning ahead of how I'm going to do the build. And again, this is one of those ones where if you follow the instructions to the letter and literally go from steps 1 through to whatever it is, you can end up tripping over yourself at certain points. A bit like when you put the gear in so early and you end up breaking it off. Aerial, small, delicate parts. Most of us know that actually you're going to put them on last, so we're just going to leave them off the one part and then circle back and get to them. I don't know why instructions insist on doing them in turn. Well, I do know, because it's real estate, as in the amount of paper and the instructions. The instruction manuals are going forever, so that way they're sort of in that area. You can fit all of those now. But again, as modelers, we know better not to put them on. And again, it's little bits for me, so as I'm waiting for bits to dry and go off, I can work on other areas and things like that. So the build pace continues all the way through. Otherwise, if you were doing it again step by step, you've got to wait for it to dry. then you come back and you go again, and various things. So again, planning your build, going right the way through it, and getting understanding of when, where, and how a lot of the parts are going to fit onto this can save you later on when you're thinking, oh, I wish I'd done that then, or I wish I'd left that off till now. So again, it's well worth studying the instructions and planning your build going right the way through with that one. So that's that build. It's coming along really, really fast. Next week, I'm going to be starting on the Lysander as well. So we've got the Lysander from Airfix. That's totally out of the box, apart from I am getting an aftermarket mask set for it because I don't fancy masking all the windows and I'm lazy in my old age. So something where I can peel and stick will save a lot of time with that one. So again, we've got that one coming up for you next week. Going to be pushing on with this one. And as this one comes together over a little bit of time, I don't think it's going to take months, but it's probably going to take about a month to get this one finished. We've got other builds we can crack on with at the same time. Anyway, this week all started on Tuesday, where we had our vlog, where obviously we was talking about obviously the challenges with the Bronco and all the bits and pieces down in there as well. And then obviously we were talking about getting on there and starting on the Westland Lysander next week. Firm favourite of mine. And again, it was one of those ones I have to thank Airfix for saving me, because I actually got here the 32nd scale one. Which was the old Matchbox kit back in the days, been reboxed by Revell over the years. So I was going to build that one. We were at Duxford a couple of years ago, and luckily enough, the Lysander was in. I managed to get lots of walk around photos and various bits of it, which are good for references and just for sort of weathering patterns and things like that on them as well. Obviously, it's a museum aircraft, but it is flyable. So that's the nice thing with that one. So anyway, I was going around getting lots of that. Looking forward to that next week. Totally out of the box, straightforward build. It will be a lot of fun. And then obviously on Wednesday, we had the vlog talking about the Mediterranean Theatre of Operation SIG is now open. Apologies, it was a couple of days late. That was me, I forgot. And obviously I've closed down the old ones now, which obviously will be the Jungle SIG, which we're working on with us as well. And the Airfix SIG obviously finished as well, because obviously we do Airfix August. That one's closed. You're going to see all the reveals for that at the back end of the show and all the rest of it. So that's all down in there like that. But anyway, that one's down in here, and obviously we were talking about how we were getting on with the Bronco, going through all the bits and pieces with that one and showing that one off. Obviously we were talking about the forum, and obviously we've got the Airfix August one has all finished and done now, and we were talking about how to find your posts and various things down in there, and a couple of bits and pieces as well. So anyway, and apologies for this weird thing going on here. No, I'm not in a green screen. For some reason my camera, yeah, I don't know, it doesn't like sunlight coming through, and it's having a little bit of a fitback here. I've clarified that now by keeping my blind shut, or just doing this at night. But when it's a baking hot day and blazing sunshine, my camera struggles a little bit down in there. We might have noticed the other day it was doing it with black work, so I don't know if one of the sensors is on its way out. We will see. Anyway, that was up with you on Wednesday. Last night we had our, I love these shows. I'll be honest with you, I really love doing them. It's the members basic Q&A show. So we talk all things questioning. So again, we had some great ones down in here about, we was doing a Buccaneer in the red flag scheme, which is obviously with the brown and sand camo. And again, what wash to use. So we was talking about that. Then I did a demo all about bluing. Didn't come out brilliant on camera. I watched it back this morning. It's one of those ones that I need. It's better to do it as a standalone video. So what I will do is I will do a standalone video and show it all about that, because I appreciate when we were down in here trying to do it, if I can find it, it's a little bit disjointed about going through. And I know when we were using it on Buster and spraying Buster and all things like that, you can't really see it that well, purely because in editing I can play with things like the lighting and to show some more bits and pieces off like that. And again, when we're using the weathering sets down in there, it's very, very difficult to see it, purely because of lighting and angles and stuff like that. So I will probably do a standalone little 30-minute video about doing heat effects and stuff like that as well. All right, so fear not on that one. Other questions that we covered down in here as well. We were talking about primers. And is it okay to use normal paints instead of primers and things like that? We're also talking about gluing 3D plastics and things like that. So we were down in that one. The other question we had about in here was about decals and doing and cutting. And again, I did a short little demonstration on that somewhere, which we were talking about these, getting the little edges and bits round in there. And obviously I did it on the A10. So again, putting gaskets in and stuff like that. But we're talking about using the little cutting boards and doing very fine lines with them. And then you can chop them into little squares and you can put them all down and the various areas. So we were putting them in like this to show how I would go about doing it for masking, or in theory just putting them down like that, and how you can use very thin tape for doing round corners and bending and all those types of things down in there as well. So that was up in the show. Other topics we covered down there is about the Procon, about the little air stems for this ones and how they work. So I did a little video on showing that one as well. And we were down in here talking about the different types of air stems and where the air comes from on your airbrush, and then how to put your airbrush back together, which was a little bit of a problem. Then we were talking about obviously getting conforming decals over very tight areas as well. So vortex generators, how you go about doing that. And a video I did a few years ago now, as you see I look quite young, back in the old studio, you can see all about that one, and we were talking about that down in there. Then we were talking about backform canopies, so I got another video for that one as well, and about fitting backform canopies and how all that goes, and lots of other questions. So members, I've done like a transcript of all your questions, and the timestamps are in here as well. So if you want to find out about this one, you can do as well. So they're all down in here as well, just to make things a little bit easier. So you just go to 3 minutes 10, you know I'm talking about it at that section. You can go down in here to like 1 minute 22, 1 hour 22 in, and you can see about it as well. Anyway, that one is up with you right now. You can go off and see that. We also did lots of questions, just 3 questions at the end of the show, and the usual bits and pieces just like that. And I'm happy to report all my airbrushes were fixed after the show had finished, and they're all good and up and working now. All right, and then that gets us up to today. So up to date, we've got part 2 of the actual Bronco with the cockpit. So again, this really now is where we go at it. We were talking about we've got the wrong resin cockpit, but we needed to sort of, you know, update it to the new modern type. So it meant some of the old bits we have to use from the kit and then put them onto the resin bits, getting the resin bits all fitted in there, and then scraping them all away and starting again. So we had to remove a lot of the details to put in the newer color photo etch panels on top of those ones right the way through. Painted the entire thing with the 36231, I think it is, gold grey. Once that was done, we did some hand painting with the blacks right the way over it. So we went around those using marker pens and a little fine brush as well. Then it was time to get all the photo etch installed onto this one. So we got color photo etch set to upgrade this to the D version. So we were going through all the little bits and pieces down in here, getting these all fitted out and transformed. A little bit of fettling to get these all in there, but it worked very well in the end, and it came out very nicely indeed. So if you want to go off, and you can see that one, it is up on the site right now, and here she is. So yes, it's all in now and it's all done. Happy of how it is. We've just popped the crew in there just to see, make sure it all fits. And to be honest with you, again, res kit, I've got to love res kit. It's a dream fit down in here. It fits perfectly well down in here, just like that. So anyway, that's going to get you bang up to this point as we are right now. So if you want to go off and see part 2, members, you can do. It's up on the site and you can get to this part. I will then crack on with it this week coming, and then hopefully we're going to get major components together. Then obviously we'll be starting on the Lysander and making our way through with that one. So plenty to see on there. Don't forget, if you want to catch up with all the bits and pieces, just pop along to florymodels.org. We've got our title page, click on vlogs, and they are all down here, and you can see what we've been up to right the way through. Remember, if you want to join up, subscribe, just click on the membership page. We seem to have a lot of new subscribers coming through this last couple of weeks, and it's got full details. So again, if you're in the EU, things like that, you can use Patreon, but anybody can use Patreon as well. Literally, it's £4 plus VAT, whatever it is in your area, a month. Or you've got the UK, the usual old way of doing it, which is obviously you can sign up for £5 a month as well and do it that way. Don't forget, you do annual subscriptions as well, £50 for each as well, and save yourself a couple of months. You get discounts, stores, various things, full details, all about it, terms and conditions, and all the small print, all down in here. Don't forget, you can cancel at any point as well. They are all just down in here. Over on the store, again, we've had restocks coming in this week for me as well. So we've got thick washes fully back in stock as well, because we're getting incredibly low of those ones, but we did a full run of those this week. Washes are all in stock as well. Mouse mats are all back in stock as well. We've got those. The aprons are fully in stock now, and the 3D printed bits are now in stock as well, including the jigs. I've got another 20 jigs ready to go now, and we've got some flight stands as well. I've got loads of those on the go. Been doing those this week. They are down in there. Plus the fact we've got all the display stuff. Again, down in here as well, we've got all your bits and pieces. And for people who seem to be buying them last night after the show, we have got those mask cutting mats as well. So we've got your straight line ones, we've got your circles, you've got your things. But don't forget, you can double these up for doing other things as well. And they're double-sided, unlike other manufacturers out there. You've got the black side and the sort of cream side as well. So you've got two lots of it down in there right the way through. So if you want to get any of those, you can do. As you spoke about last week, because of Mr. Trump has now done his bit. We can't ship now to the US purely because we have to pay the tax up front for you, and that's impossible for us to know until you know what you've bought, because obviously some of our stuff is made in the UK. If you're buying DSP, it comes from China. It's different tariffs and rates. It's almost impossible now to ship to the US. All right. So for the moment, if you could please go over to High Altitude Hobbies over here as well, if you are in the US. He has got washes. I know he's out of stock of a few, but he's going to get a restock next week. He had a restock this week. He's got another restock coming to him next week. I've seen an email off of Brett this morning, so we've got that sorted. I will get that all out to him next week. So just pop over to High Altitude Hobbies there in Colorado, and you avoid all the tax and all the duties and everything else like that. But basically, it's impossible for me to ship to the US anymore. All right. But again, we do have a distributor and stockist in the US through High Altitude Hobbies. You can do it from them. And don't forget, you can pop over to, if you're in the EU as well, to Brevaco Modeling. They've got the Flory Models Europe page here. They carry everything that we do as well. And you can get all the stuff off of them directly as well. All right. So you can just pop in over to them, and they've got all your DSP stuff as well. So you've got all of those two down in there. Other things going on at the moment over on the PM store. The Airfix Wessex got released this week. It's in stock, bargain price just £22. Hopefully I'll get one of these next week and I'll do a review for you. And I'm really looking forward to it. I can see us all doing a Wessex buddy build at this rate. Okay, it's not the version I want, but hey, you get what you can. All right, but again, nice price. Looks to be a fantastic kit, and obviously all the other ones over here that we've been doing recently. The other re-release as well has come through is the old Anson in the original boxing as well, so it's nice to see that. And I know Airfix have done the new rocket has been re-released, and they got re-released the old Saturn V as well, the Artemis rocket, I think that one is. So hopefully we'll see that shortly as well. Plus that, we've got all your other deals and bits and pieces down on here as always. So if you want to grab any of these ones at good bargain prices, you can do. And don't forget, we've got your back when it comes to everything else as well. So we've got all your tools, your glues, your paints, your sundries, and everything else that goes with it. All right, so if you want to get anything from that point of view, we've got all of those just down in here in the store as always. So yes, a very good week this week. As always on a Friday, I'm going to leave you with some great work from the gallery, and today we've got the final reveal section from the Airfix SIG that ran last month. We always do it every year, so it's Airfix August, and some great Airfix kits of various scales and some incredible work you guys have done too. So till next week, everybody, happy modelling, take care, see you soon.